Generally, the stuff that comes out on our records is stuff that I've written alone, and then I bring it to the band, and then we all work on it together, on the production together. And sometimes then I'll have some tweaks, vocally or lyrically, and I'll get the guys' input on that. I'm not too precious when it comes to my lyrics or melodies, but yeah, generally it starts off with just me.
What was it like then for you to present Follow the Sound of My Voice to your brother?
It was very awkward. How else can it be? I mean, it's like
Sure.
it's such an awkward thing to have written this song that was so personal. Also, my brother, I'm like a heart on my sleeve guy. I'm so emotional, and nobody else in my band is like that. They're all just like steel traps of emotion. They don't ever. They're not feelings guys, and I'm
More
such a
stoic.
feelings guy. Yeah, so I played the song for Casey, and he was like, "Cool, man." That was the extent of it, and it's a funny thing too, because we've talked about it more, he and I, and he was like, well, it's funny because you think it's a song that you wrote about me, but it's really a song that you wrote about you and your kind of version of what it was like growing up with me. Um, and and that was a very funny thing to hear him say, because it's totally true. Totally true. The song is my experience of being his brother. As much as I tried to just like tell objectively his story and our story, it's still my story, you know.
Sure.
And I think that's what always was the most uncomfortable thing for me, when it came to my brother, is I never wanted to make it about me, because I grew up with this knowledge that my brother was always going through something that was something I would never understand, and I think obviously this is not a fair thing to do to yourself, but I always kind of thought like, oh, his problems are way worse than my problems. His problems are always harder than my problems, so why should I complain about anything? Or what does my perspective matter when his perspective is so unique and so
Mhm.
important, so much more important. Um, and that obviously that's on no one but myself.
Sure.
Um, so writing that song was very difficult for me, but it's also a very simple song. I love him a lot, and it's a song about that devotion and that love. So when it boils down to it, it's not complicated, as complicated as it may be in my head.